You know, Shattered Sun, badass CD. Get it? It's in stores now at all retails everywhere. Well, not really, but you can find these guys. You can also find them on Facebook.com/Shattered Sun. Like their page, like their music, like who the guys are. They're pretty badass to check out. Now, I would love to bring up a subject in particular when it comes to professional wrestling. Now, most of you guys had a chance to see the 3-hour show. Everything from Chris Jericho and CM Punk to the whole thing with Brock Lesnar. I'm going to get into the whole situation with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. You know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. My personal opinion. And I'll tell you this right now. I like Brock Lesnar. No one's going to deny that Brock Lesnar is a badass. Certainly no question about that. He's proven himself in the WWE when he beat the likes of Hulk Hogan to Ric Flair to The Rock to become who he is. No one's going to deny he can't kick ass. A lot of people said that Brock Lesnar couldn't do shit at UFC. Look what the hell he's done. And now he returns stronger than ever. But the question is Brock even Brock? That's the big question. Because you see, when I was watching that segment at the end of Raw with Brock Lesnar, I got to tell you something. I think Brock is chicken of John Cena. And more importantly, I think he's doing things that are totally out of character. And I say totally out of character. And I think that there's something with Brock Lesnar that none of us are seeing yet. But let's see at Extreme Rules. Because here's the thing. Brock Lesnar is a UFC fighter. No one's going to deny that. But here's the thing. The question is, just like what we asked with The Rock, can he still do it? Can he still go in the ring and perform? Because it's been a long time since Brock Lesnar's been in the ring. And more importantly, Brock, as you know, has had many injuries done to him when he was in the UFC. He's back. He hasn't said anything about the injuries and so forth. And you know the funny thing is, remember that little segment that he did about Brock Lesnar? You know, talk about the man, how he was in the WWE, and then he went to UFC. Obviously, he didn't talk about why he really left the WWE, did he? No, Brock didn't talk about that, because that would be either bad for him or bad for the WWE. We all know the story about why he left. Remember when Brock Lesnar had the worst match of his life against Goldberg? And remember when he lost to Goldberg at WrestleMania 20? Oh my God. And you know what's funny? I can still remember watching that match. I said a long time ago that Brock Lesnar and Goldberg would be a badass match. And it was on paper. But on pay-per-view, oh my fucking God. What the hell went wrong with there? And then I started hearing rumors that Brock Lesnar was going to go to the NFL. This was the truth. NFL. He was going to leave to go with, I don't know if he mentioned the Denver Broncos or the New York Giants or one of them, but I heard that he was leaving to go to the NFL. But that didn't happen. So he went over to Japan to go wrestle there. He had lost the IWGP Championship to Kurt Angle before he made his debut at the UFC. Like that. That's a true story, guys. Everybody, any wrestling fan that knows that Brock Lesnar was not in the NFL. He was still wrestling. He was over in Japan. He was over this, over that before he went to UFC. So that's the truth. If you don't believe me, just look through the stories and you'll find out. But anyways, let me get into this other subject about John Cena. And that's another person that I'm a little concerned with, because is it just me or the fans are really behind John Cena? Boy, you start to hear the chants. You know how you hear the chants and go, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." You know how you hear those chants, right? Now it's like, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." I'm like, what the hell just happened? You know, apparently some of those fans are now starting to realize what kind of person Brock Lesnar really is, isn't he? John Cena for the very first time and do this whole contract signing at the very, very beginning. And John Laurinaitis, who, by the way, John, you're doing a hell of a job as the general manager. Yes, you've dropped the show to its foundation. You made it look like crap, and you've done a good job. You absolutely suck. And that little contract signing that you did, all the terms that you agreed with Brock Lesnar, you know something? You're no Vince McMahon. And you sure as hell ain't no Triple H. Because at least they know how to negotiate, and they know how to put a person down when he can. He doesn't have to always agree with the things that he wants. But at least Vince McMahon knew a way to terminate a person when it was right for the pickings. Vince McMahon may be loved or hated, but he's respected. He's one of the greatest wrestling promoters on this planet. Maybe next to Dana White, but that's a different story. That's a different story to me. But nonetheless, John Laurinaitis, good job of being a general manager. Let's see if you're even general manager any longer come this Monday night. Oh yeah, after Extreme Rules. Let's get to Edge. He shows up after the whole contract sign. Oh, by the way, John Laurinaitis tells Theodore Arlong to get out of my ring. When John Laurinaitis wanted to do the contract signing from the beginning of the show, and then he starts changing his mind. And you know what? It's not the first time that John Laurinaitis has changed his mind about certain things. Like he knows what's good for television. Like he knows what's good for Raw. Like he knows what the fans really want. Please, people power, here is your people power to you, John Laurinaitis. You stupid fuck. Now, Edge comes out there and talks about everything from The Undertaker to Triple H to Shawn Michaels to himself and John Cena. Who, let's be honest, Brock Lesnar's term in the WWE